Stop scrolling if you have an uterus. We optimize our emails, our workflows. So why are we still dealing with a literally red wedding in our calendars every month? I sat down with Tarda Murphy from Channel Med Systems, and she broke the ultimate biohack. It's called Serene. It uses cryotherapy. Yes, we're literally pressing to drown away. No heat, no contact. The treatment takes 2.5 minutes, faster than waiting for your oatmeal latte. No hospitals, no incision, no anesthesia. You can literally do it right in the doctor's office. Always, guys, technology isn't just about AI. It's about optimizing us. Get us the story on ValBVibes. Let's share. Hello, everyone. We talk a lot about tech, optimizing our emails and our workflows, but what about tech that actually optimizes our biology? So today we're going there. So welcome once again to ValBVibes. I'm Valeria Bernal, ValB. Today we're in the techie vibes mood, talk a little bit more about tech, not only business related, but with a twist, because usually when we talk tech, we think about apps or AI. But today I'm chatting with Tarda Murphy. She's the VP of Marketing at Channel Med Systems. So they're the team behind this amazing device. She's gonna brief you a little bit more about that in a moment. This device basically uses advanced cryotherapy. So yes, this is like a freezing technology to treat heavy menstrual bleeding. So Tara, thank you so much for joining us. And let's talk about this amazing device and what you're doing for all women out there suffering from this menstrual behavior and painful monthly visitors.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for having me. It's so important for us as a company to be able to get the word out to women about, just even to start with what's normal or not normal about your monthly cycle. I think a lot of times we think that what we're suffering from is normal, and it's really not something that we need to deal with as women. Your monthly cycle is not supposed to be painful. It's not supposed to be heavy. You shouldn't have to change your clothes during the day and those types of things. So it's really important for us to be able to educate women on that first and foremost, so that they know that they do have options out there. And Serene, which is the technology that we have, being one of them. What Serene is endometrial cryotherapy, as you said. So essentially it's a procedure that's done for women who are suffering from heavy bleeding and or painful periods. And it can be done right in the office, which is really nice, especially, as women, we don't have a lot of time to dedicate to ourselves for recovery and things like that. So this procedure, Serene, is done in office, and there's no anesthesia, there's no incisions. From start to finish, the full time is about a 7-minute procedure, and the cryotherapy itself is about 2.5 minutes of that. So it's really quick. Women tolerate it very well. So very, very good reports from women who have had the procedure on, the pain that they feel during it, which is very, very minimal. They're awake and they can leave and go about their day when it's done. So what it essentially does is it's freezing the lining of the uterus. So then what that does is it helps to reduce, and in some cases stop, women from having periods. So it reduces that heavy bleeding, it reduces that pain that women are suffering from, and allows us to have a normal life and a great quality of life that we deserve to have.
That's amazing. So basically this happened right at a doctor office. There is no hospital, operating room, no surgery.
Yeah, it's amazing. So some physicians do it in addition to other procedures if they're in the OR, but if you're just going in for a Serene, you could do it in your office. We have a physician locator on our website at serene.com, where you could go and find a doctor in the area that offers it and just see if it's right for you. So you go into the office, you get the procedure, and you go home or go back to work. We've had women do that too.
Because historically, the solution, I guess, maybe I'm wrong, but I think it's the hysterectomy. My mom has that, so which is a major surgery actually. How does introducing this kind of technology change the landscape that is currently for women's healthcare in the U.S. and probably nationwide? Worldwide.
Yes, it is. I mean, we have a true unmet need in women's health, and Serene is addressing that. About 10 million women a year get diagnosed with heavy bleeding. And of that, about 1.5 million, 1.4 million are treated. So there's over 8 million women that are told, hey, you have heavy bleeding. This is your treatment option. And a lot of times it's either hormonal, so putting put it on birth control or IUD, which a lot of women don't want to do right now, or to your point, a more invasive procedure like a hysterectomy, which is, a 6 to 8 week recovery at times. So women don't like their treatment options. So we have this bolus of women that have been diagnosed with heavy bleeding and are suffering from it that we know of. That's not even including the women that aren't going in and being diagnosed. And they don't like what they're being told their treatment option is. So this really helps to open that care pathway to give women an option that's not hormonal and not invasive and helps to give them a solution to reduce that painful period. And medical device for women's health is really important, and we don't get a lot of the attention that we need. We don't get a lot of the funding that we need. There's a lot of chatter now about, perimenopause and menopause and those things, but this is something that women are suffering from a very young age. And there are solutions out there that we need to get attention for from the physician audience as well as the patient population.
Wow. So I want to know from a patient perspective, what does the recovery looks like compared with this always?
For recovery, I mean, there's it's very minimal. So there are no medications, that are required to be given after having a Serene. There may be a little bit of discharge. Every woman is different, so you would have to really talk to your physician about what those expectations are. But within a few cycles that you're having after having the procedure, you're going to see a reduction or a reduction of your period and that pain. Mhm.
So I want to go a little bit more into the woman in suit, this
Yeah.
corporate position that you have as VP of marketing. So
Mhm.
your job is tell the story of a complex device that both to both doctors and patients. What is
Yes.
the biggest challenge in getting people to adopt this kind of new technology when it's not about device, computer, AI? It's basically something in our body.
Yes, I mean, for me, the biggest challenge really is getting women the attention that we deserve. If you look at the landscape where you have male issues and the attention that they get from commercials and billboards and everything else in comparison to what women are suffering from and the attention that we don't receive, my biggest hurdle is really being that advocate for women out there and having our physicians and industry understand that women deserve to have all treatment options that are out there, and Serene being one of those. And we really need to make sure that we're educating those women about what's normal and not normal, as well as pushing physicians to get out of their comfort zone, pushing the hospitals and facilities to say it's worth investing in women's health. This is important, and we need to make sure that we're making it a priority. I think that we just don't quite get the attention that we deserve. So for me, it's a very big passion, and I'm very grateful to be able to have this voice, to be able to start to drive the attention and need that we deserve, because we do deserve treatment options. We do deserve to not have bleeding every month that stops us from our daily activities. We do deserve to live without pain. And so for me to be able to do that is something that I'm very grateful for by having this role.
If a listener right now is thinking, wait, I kind of need this technology, how do they
Mhm.
actually access? Do you have to ask their doctor specifically for Serene, or what is the procedure with insurance?
So we've done over 6,000 procedures in the US of Serene. It is fully covered by major insurance payers, so it should be covered by insurance. If a woman is interested, they would need to go into their GYN and ask them for Serene. So I think it's easier to ask for Serene, or they could say the endometrial cryotherapy, but Serene is an easy thing for them to ask for. We do have a locator, physician locator that you could look up by your zip code on serene.com. So you could put in your zip code, and treating physicians in that area will pop up for you so that you could find a physician and go directly to them. Or your OBGYN could direct you to a physician in their practice or that they send patients to have the Serene. So even if your doctor themselves doesn't do it, you can find someone to have Serene and then go back to your doctor, if you need to for any future needs. But, the important thing with Serene that that women should know is when they're getting other treatment options, and the physician may talk to them about it, and every treatment is going to be different and appropriate for each woman, but a lot of those treatment options will close your cavity. So if you have issues down the line, say you have an ablation or you have something done because of heavy bleeding that they talk to you about, that could close your cavity. And so if you have a polyp down the line or you have bleeding again or something comes up, you would need a hysterectomy as the solution. Where with Serene, it keeps the cavity available and open. So you're not put in that predicament of possibly needing a hysterectomy down the line if you had a different treatment option. So I think it's really important. And I really want to emphasize how important it is for women to be educated about their treatment options. And even when they're talking to their physician, just understand what that is and what questions should they ask. So a lot of our physicians, all of our physicians actually that are on our physician locator are those who believe that women deserve to know about all of their treatment options. And they will talk to them about that whole toolkit of options that are available and then see if Serene is right for them.
How long is the procedure?
So, yeah. The
Yep.
procedure itself, so you're probably in the doctor's office for about 30 minutes total, because you'll go in, you'll change, they'll dilate the patient, and then the procedure itself from start to finish is 7 minutes. So very quick. Total time you're in that room is probably about 30 minutes, with 7 minutes of the procedure time. When you're being dilated and all of those not so fun or fun things, whatever you want to think about it. And then those 2.5 minutes of cryotherapy are a part of that 7 minutes. So, we hear that women, they start to just feel the coldness as they start the cryotherapy starts. And the great and interesting part about that is what it does is it really starts to numb you. If you think about putting an ice cube on your finger or on your hand, it starts to soothe your skin and it starts to numb. So they start to feel that instantly as it happens, which is why they're so comfortable during the procedure.
Wow, thank you so
Yeah.
I'd like to know what makes you more right now, jumping a little more
Mhm.
personal, makes you most excited about the future of FemTech or medical innovation
Mhm.
right now?
I think women's health is starting to get the attention that we deserve. I think, like I said, perimenopause, menopause has really lifted the waters a little bit to get us some of that attention. But I think that this is the time for investors, for physicians, for facilities to really look at and prioritize women's health as what needs to be the focus for 2026 and beyond. And I think we as women have started to become much more educated about our health, about our treatment options, and we're going in and we're demanding that we get the care that we deserve. For me, that's really, really exciting. And as someone that has a 12-year-old daughter, I want to do better for my daughter than what was done for us in our generations, where we weren't talking about things. We didn't know what our moms or grandmas had as far as ailments. And to be able to say that we're going to be doing better for our daughters by investing and really drawing awareness to women's health and women's medical devices to help improve our health is something that is very, very exciting to me to be able to move forward with this year and beyond.
We're reaching the end. Thank you so much. I love when we can highlight technology that isn't just cool, but actually improves the quality of life, and especially from us women that we suffer from so many deals with our hormones, with our cycles. So listeners, if you or someone is dealing with this right now, you don't have to just deal with it or suffer every month. You can learn more at serene.com. Go check out the science behind it. So as always, if you love this episode, share with a friend, especially the ones who need it, that you think need it, and the one who loves actually medical innovation too. This can be, we work for doctors probably and know about these procedures and ValBVibes. So stay curious and stay vibe. Thank you so much, Tara.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.